Hey folks, this is Steel Table Talk and I'm Kavya. This is the fourth video in the ICSE Drama series covering the fourth part of Act 1, Scene 1 of The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. This video contains everything from the broadest concepts to the minutest details that you require to write the perfect answers. So keep watching and stay tuned for more. And with that, let's begin. So, here's a brief background of events so far. First, Antonio, Selenio, and Salerno discuss possible reasons for Antonio's mysterious melancholy: ships, love, or inherent nature, and Antonio dismisses all three of them. Then, Lorenzo, Griciano, and Bassanio enter, and Selenio and Salerno take leave. Griciano also suggests reasons for Antonio's sadness, that is, concern about worldly affairs, or desire to be held in high opinion. Lorenzo and Griciano finally exit, leaving Antonio and Bassanio to talk, and this is what they talk about. Antonio says, "Is that anything now?" He's speaking about Griciano, of course, about him speaking so much. Bassanio, "Griciano speaks an infinite deal of nothing, more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hidden 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search." So Bassanio comments that Griciano speaks more nonsense, senseless things than any man in the entire city of Venice. The meaning, the sense in his statements is like 2 grains of wheat hidden in 2 stacks of hay. And how is that possible? Means, how does that reasoning make sense? You shall search for the meaning in his statements for a long time, the entire day. And when you finally understand the meaning, it will not be worth the time that it took you to find it or the efforts that you put in. So here it can be taken as there is use of the word as, hence it will be a simile. His reasons are as till bushels of chaff. Antonio then says, "Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of?" So now Bassanio must have told Antonio that there is some secret lady whom I like, and I am going to pay her a visit on one of these days. So now Antonio is inquiring about that. Bassanio says, now Bassanio does not answer Antonio's question straight away. He begins by beating around the bush because he needs something from Antonio. We'll see why. "It is not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate by showing something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance." Now, he says Antonio is well aware of Bassanio's financial condition, how he has managed to exhaust all his means by living a more lordly, a more noble lifestyle, extravagant lifestyle than his limited sources of income, his limited money would allow. "Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate." Now, his concern now is not that now I do not have the means to continue living that extravagant lifestyle. He's not concerned about that. His concern is, but my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts wherein my time, something too prodigal, hath left me gagged. So he says, my chief aim is to honorably repay the debts I incurred in the days of my youth, owing to my extravagant lifestyle, extravagant habits, reckless spending. To you, Antonio, I owe the most, in money and in love, and from your love I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of the debts I owe. He goes on to say that he owes the most to Antonio. He is most indebted to Antonio, not only in terms of material things or money, but also in terms of love and affection and support that Antonio has shown him through all this time. And it is Antonio's unwavering love for Bassanio that gives him the courage and also the right, the responsibility to reveal his plans as to how he is aiming to free himself from all the debts, all the burdens of the money he owes different people. Now here a very slight reference is made using the word prodigal, reference to the prodigal son from the Bible. I think there is a proper reference later on, which will come across and consider at that time. Antonio says, I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it, and if it stand, as you yourself still do, within the eye of honour, be assured my purse, my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions. Antonio pleads to Bassanio, please tell me about your plans. He promises that if Bassanio's plans are as honourable as Bassanio himself is in the eyes of Antonio, he would devote 3 things. Number 1, my purse. Number 2, my person. Number 3, my extremest means. And their paraphrase will be my purse, my money, all my monetary resources, my person, my body, all my physical resources, my extremist means the entirety of my connections to help him, and Bassanio recover from his debts. Bassanio goes on to say, in my school days, when I had lost one shaft, that is arrow, I shot his fellow of the self-same flight, exactly the same dimensions, exactly the same make, the self-same way, in exactly the same manner, with more advised watch, in a more careful manner, to find the other fourth, and by adventuring both I oft found both. Now he cites a childhood example before finally proposing his plan to Antonio. He says that in his school days, when he used to practice archery and lose an arrow while playing, what did he used to do? He used to shoot another identical arrow in a similar manner and watch it more carefully. And by doing this, he often found both the arrows. So I urge this childhood proof. He goes on to explain that I cite this childhood example because what follows is pure innocence. Because he says that what I am going to say, I have no evil plots or plans or treachery behind it. I think it is purely innocent of me to assume that my plans, which I am about to unfold, will work. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. So he says, I have taken great debts from you, and like any reckless young man, all the money that I owed to you, I have lost that money. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or bring your latter hazard back again, and thankfully rest debtor for the first. So he says, but listen to my plan. If you are agreeing to shoot another arrow, means give me a debt, money, like you gave me before, I do not doubt, I have no doubts about it. I will watch the way I spend it. I will be very careful about how I spend your money, or to find both, or bring your latter hazard back, means, and by doing this, I will either find both the arrows comparison to, I will either find the money to repay both of your debts, means your previous debts as well as the new debt that I am about to ask of you, or at least I will bring your latter debt, means the debt which I am yet about to ask of you, and thankfully rest debtor for the first, and will rest indebted to you for the first one. Antonio goes on to say, you know me well, and herein spend but time to wind about my love with circumstance. He says that Bassanio is well aware of his nature and his affections towards Bassanio, and therefore all the time he is spending in tedious speeches connecting Antonio's friendship with examples and experiments and childhood habits is but a waste. And out of doubt you do me now more wrong in making question of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. In fact, Antonio considers it an insult to himself, as Bassanio is doubting his love for him and his readiness to put in the utmost efforts to help Bassanio. It would have been better if, instead of doubting him and thus insulting him in this way, Bassanio would have wasted away all the money and resources Antonio had. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done, and I am pressed unto it. Therefore speak. Now Antonio pleads Bassanio to just tell him, command him what he expected Antonio to do, and Antonio would commit his entire resources and his own self to the same. As he said in a previous speech, I would give my purse, my person, my extremest means for your benefit.